All right, welcome. Welcome to Principle of Macroeconomics Week 1 last year. How are you?
Good.
Everyone is good. So I will start from chapter 2 today. And I see most of you are here. I will try to record the class, right? As I have explained, because some of you will be missing the classes. Maybe you will be glad to access the class online. Okay, you can see the recording. Because some of you have asked me about the slides, because some of the slides may not have the proper information. They have some gaps. So try to fill up the gaps whatever I show here, or maybe I can give you everything before a midterm exam. Okay, so that way you get more access to the materials. All right, so today we are discussing about two important concepts of macroeconomics. First of all, in the last class, we discussed about scarcity, about the principle of foundation of economics, right? Today we will discuss what if we have scarcity and how can we calculate our opportunity cost, and also how can we see all these asset scarcity in a graph. Okay, the most important graph of these concepts started in economics. So we will start exploring the concept of visualization in the graph. All right. So as we previously explained, scarcity, right? Let me start writing. So we know the concept of scarcity, which is the limited resources. So since we have limited resources and unlimited wants, we would like to balance our resource and wants to a maximizing output, right? We want to maximize our output in every single perspective, wherever we are in life, whether it is a time, whether it is about money, we'd like to maximize that. So given the limited scarcity and limited resources, we would like to get the highest value opportunity for it. So we would like to maximize our value. So we'd like to maximize. This is very important concept, maximization, a lot of maths in this. We'll study deeper onto this. So the big questions is, how do economics study economy? What is production possibility frontier? We will study this today. What are the benefits of specialization and trade? We have had a little bit introduction of what is trade specialization in chapter 1, but we will try to do in chapter 2 as well. Okay. So let's go first thing first. Given limited resources, given our maximizing our value. That's our target, right? Economics want to achieve everything through model creation. So what is a model? Model is a scientific way of maximizing your output. So you have few other variables, you draw a mathematical algorithm or a model, and you try to find a maximizing output. Okay. For that, we need to get help from a science background to derive models in economics. Okay. So, so the step is we have scarcity, we want maximizing our value, and how we will maximize is to model, uh, let's say, model our scenarios, or model our events, model our life, model everything. So we bring that into an equation of model. Okay. So if we bring that equation into the model, the question for you is, what are the benefits and costs being in a college? So let's say we have scarcity, we want to maximize given anything, and we want to model, we have to model. So first problem, right? Problem number one is we are in college, right? How do we maximize being in college? And say it in a different word, what are the benefits and costs being in college, right? That includes what are the opportunity costs. Let's say you are given your time here, that's opportunity cost. It's not only about money that you could have worked 5 hours extra outside in a part-time job, not being in a college. You could have your own business, right? Not being in a college. So what are the costs? What are the benefits you have to assess before you join the college? You have already assessed that, right? So give me some of the costs that you are having. Tuition fees, right? So let's say cost for being in college. So number one is fees. Number two, anyone?
Time.
Time. So this time is a big concept, right? So in economics, we don't really talk about a lot about money. We talk about time. We talk about values. We talk about behavior. So um, if you are in a college, you could have given this time to somewhere else, right? So there is a benefit as well as a cost, both. But we have to find what is in addition. What is that marginal addition you are losing? Or what is that extra addition you are losing? To bring that marginal addition, let's say all of you go to dorm, right? All of you are from the private year? Dorm? No? So let's say
11.
yeah. So let's say some of you live in the dorm. So you miss not being home, right? You miss the food of home. You miss let's say being with your family. That also considered as a cost that you are not being with your family. But whether or not you are not in college or not with family, you will have your food. So food is not an addition. So it's not really a cost that you can assess. So food is not an opportunity cost as we are thinking right now. So our opportunity cost, let's say fees, as I say, let's say time, okay? And um, and let's say that you could have started a business. You could have started a business, or you could have worked somewhere in that time where you were in the college. Um, we can say that I am a very good cook, and I could have started my own restaurant. So my opportunity cost of being in a college is I'm foregoing my interest of opening my own restaurant, which could be $1 million industry, a business in 1 year, right? So 4 years, you will be in college. So 4 years multiplied by 1 million, it could be 4 million. So you have a net value of $4 million restaurants. Let's say this could be your cost. Your cost can go more, right? These costs, we say that these are your opportunity costs. Okay? And to measure these opportunity costs, because there are a lot of events may happen, we have to observe these in a scientific model. As we say, we have to observe a phenomenon, develop a hypothesis, construct a model, and blah blah blah. These are scientific models, right? Anybody knows what is hypothesis is? Hypothesis.
Prediction.
Huh? 1%. Hypothesis. Yes.
Prediction.
Prediction. Anyone else from the back? Yeah.
What you think will happen.
Exactly. What you might think. You might think it will happen, haven't happened yet, right? Um, any other vocabulary?
So here,
Theory. Okay. So we are coming from model to a problem. We created a problem. And our problem right now is being in a college. And I hypothesize that after you graduate from this college, you will get a job. You will get a job at least 150K a year. Right. That's my hypothesis. You don't know if it is true or not, right? Maybe you will get a job as a Fed economist, or maybe let's say a CEO of your own company, but you will have your own income and job. Let's say my hypothesis is after you graduate, students will get a job. Okay. So this hypothesis has two sides. Two sides. One is can happen, cannot happen, right? So we have, let's say, um, um, let's say that job or not a job. Two possibilities, right? No job. After you construct this hypothesis, we start to find out our real statistics from the database that we have. So the phenomena we study in economics, we try to study the historical database. Since we don't have live database of ourselves, I don't have live database, what you're thinking. I don't have live database of what you right now is thinking, what could be your behavior in 2 months, right? But I have your past database. I have a representative sample of Louisiana, right? And from there, we try to derive a truth. We try to find out whether my hypothesis is right or not. So by statistics, after a graduate finish the college, right? Around 5 to 10% remains unemployed. 95% get a job, right? 90% get a job. So it's almost a truth that you will get a job. So we try to put an evidence. We prove evidence because whatever we are saying should have a scientific background. And most of the policymakers do analyze historical database to find out their hypothesis truth or not, right? So that's why we create that model. And this model works with variables. To get a job, you need a lot of variables. Number one, you need skills. To get a job, what do you need?
Skill.
I
Oh,
know.
you prefer.
To get a job, what do you need? Time,
Connection.
connection. Very important in this era. Connection. Okay, let's say connection. What else? Experience. If you are graduated from top schools, your probability of getting a job is higher. If your CGPA is high, your probability is getting higher. If you are applying more than 100 places compared to a person applying one places, their probability goes higher, right? There is a ton of variable. You can put this into model to satisfy your hypothesis, right? So you can see that the more the variables you increase in the model, the estimation gets more correct, right? The estimation of what? The estimation of getting a job or not getting a job. So we try to quantify our thoughts. We try to quantify events happening every day, right? So studying economics will make your mind work in a more scientific way. Every day you study economics, it will make you decide a logical understanding. That's what I love. What I do, that I love studying economics. I have been studying economics for almost 12 years. I worked in the ministry. I worked in the government. So being economist, what differentiates from the normal people is I try to estimate my model wherever I go, right? So when you understand that estimation of model works, variable works, you will see that your decision-making capacity is getting much more clear, right? So now, economics has two analytical understanding. One is positive analysis, and another is normative analysis. They say positive statement, normative statement. Positive statements, you just understand that this is a positive statement. Graduate student will get a job. So positive statements can be validated, and normative statements cannot be validated. Normative statements like ethics, like someone's values, religion, these are difficult to model, right? So we try to be in most positive statements in economics rather than normative statements. So if someone asks you, is the statement positive or normative? The simple way to find out if you see the word, if you see the word should, then this is a positive statement. Okay? So everyone should work at a bank to learn the true value of money, positive statement. Okay, everyone should donate charity, positive statement. Government intervention in markets is bad. It's not a positive statement. Okay, that's how. Economic models. Models are simplified versions of reality used to understand the complex real world economy. All right. So since we have these, I'll try to remain the problem. Okay, this is our problem. Right now, in the economy, tell me one problem that all of you are facing. Okay, yeah. You actually, okay. Inflation. Very good. Housing, okay. Okay, inflation. Housing, okay. Any more problem? You say don't only one. You have so many problems in your life. Come on.
High tax.
Tax, okay. Any other problem? Problems from behind? Any problems in your life, in the country that you're facing right now? That's it. There's no problem here. This class is very happy. That's good. Do you have any problem in your life?
Well, inflation, that's pretty much the same thing.
What is inflation? Yes,
Affordable education.
affordable education. Affordable education. Okay. You have to go to country where uh, where the education is free, right? Yeah.
Also, particular to here, like high insurance rates.
Insurance rate. Flood insurance is my house is $1,500. It's very, very high in New Orleans. I don't know why. So insurance, car insurance is very high. Very, very good. Let's tackle the first one. Inflation. That connected to everything. Everything. What is inflation? Anyone? Okay, I know you know. I know that you know. What is inflation from up? Anyone would like? Yes. Rising prices. Okay. Inflation, rising prices. Okay. Any other thought? Okay, rising prices is not really. Yes. Go on.
Oh, I was about to say like a decline in the currency's value.
More accurate. Yes. Declining in the value of the currency. Yes.
I was gonna say cost of living increase, like the cost of living in general increase.
Very good. These all are related. Okay. So inflation is basically calculated through CPI. CPI is price index, everyday's price index. So a government body, they monitor the market, they go to the market and they check the prices of every day. And they compare the prices of previous day and they divide, they find the inflation rate. Okay. So these are done by the government bodies. They calculate inflation. Right now, the inflation rate is, I think, 5%. It's high. It's really high. It affects everyday life. It affects our housing. It affects the lunch we are going to buy. Yes,
It's also defined by lack of income rising with the inflation rate. If they rise at the same time, it's not really defined as inflation.
yes, you're also right. So let's say that your income is not much to afford a lunch. So what happens is um, you you go to the shop and you won't be able to buy, someone else is buying. So the demand of that food is increasing and the price is also fluctuating. So this is a different concept altogether. But the main fundamental idea of calculating inflation is CPI, Consumer Price Index. All the price is related to the CPI. So let's focus on inflation first, okay? Because from this problem, we are going to derive some of the ideas of what we are going to explain right now. So in economics, we say set risk variables. This is a very important vocabulary in economics. You should memorize this. This is a Latin word that means holding other things constant. What do I mean by this? Let's say, let me give you a fun example. Let's say that um, let's say that you have your partner cheated on you. Okay, let's say your partner cheated on you, and um, maybe he or she has a reason to cheat on you. Reason, too much reason. But whenever he cheated or she cheated, you should say that just for this reason you cheated. Statistics, I mean, holding other things constant. I don't care about other things, just about these reasons. One of these reasons, maybe I was not able to buy you food. That's why you cheated on me. Okay, that's one thing. So holding other thing constants means in a model, there are so many variables, skill, connection, experience. Whenever you talk about skills, you hold these and rest of the things you weight them as a zero. That's a centrist paradox. Okay. Also in economics, another concept which is which is called there is no free lunch. You know this, right? This has came from economics. If someone offered you lunch, this is not free. He or she wants something from you behind, right? There is nothing free in economics. So as we say, there is nothing free in the world. You're coming here, you are having your own motivation, own incentive. I'm here. Everybody here have their own incentive mechanism. And this incentive mechanism drive us to the economic growth, drive us to develop our country, drive us to success and maximize our output. We are driving every day to maximize our value. Every single human being driving towards this, and our mechanism works inside our brain that let's do this considering there is no free lunch. Okay? This is very harsh concept, right? Very harsh concept, but economics, they tell the truth. I mean, if someone offered you lunch, your friend, you cannot just say, hey man, you're giving it for free. Actually, no, he wants something from you for sure. That's what economics would like to define. Okay? These two concepts is very difficult. A PhD level student cannot understand these two concepts. Endogenous factors and exogenous factors. Maybe if you ask a professor, he will sometime think twice to understand this. Understanding these two concepts is very, very important. What is endogenous? What is exogenous? Endogenous is something which you can control, which is inside you. Okay, you are in a relationship with your partner, you can control, let's say, about where is she, what is she doing whenever with you, whenever she's going out, but you cannot control if she is thinking somebody else. You cannot control that. That is exogenous. Exogenous is something that is beyond your control. So whenever we derive a model, so our model particularly have an objective to fulfill, which is our hypothesis is graduate student will get a job. But there might be other factor why he don't get a job. Maybe he is not interested at all to apply for a job, right? Maybe he is to something else. Maybe he wanna go to hiking. He wanna do cycling. He want to do something with his life. We cannot control that. That is a factor that we cannot define. That is called exogenous factors. And endogenous factors is the skills, connection, experience, something that we can control, right? Give me one exogenous variable thinking about that model. One variable, anybody. That we cannot control someone's to get a job.
They're not functional for job, for work, that kind of thing.
I mean, an exogenous variable, you have to, yes,
Maybe like a disability they have.
disability.
Like when applying for a job, like they're talking about like what would.
Yeah, but you see, those are you can control somehow. Like there are positions available. Those are only
In general,
mentioning disabilities are allowed. Veterans are allowed, right? There are positions that is, they want them, right? One of the greatest argument in this model is skill. Skill set is really exogenous or endogenous. Because let me give example. What is the skill set of Elon Musk? He became a millionaire. What is the skill set of the richest people in the art? Are they different from you? And how they're different?
You want me to answer that?
Yes,
Well, it depends on exactly the person, but like, I guess in the tech sector, their actual concrete skills are pretty much the same, but I guess they applied it in a way that other people weren't able to or.
still it's a mystery. How top 10% of the world owns 52% of the money of the world. The 10 people of the world, they own 52% of the wealth. And you understand what is their skill? Yes,
Their skill set is relatively similar to that of anybody else in a professional position. However, they have the financial resource, whether they earned it or they started with it, to deploy, basically to, I guess, through the function of globalization, they get somebody to do something for them and not necessarily expend the amount of resource that it would take for them themselves to do in their own time.
you're right. It's very hard to attain, right? It's very hard to attain that kind of skills of Elon Musk, where he works, how his brain works. Difficult. So sometimes it is very difficult to manage, control skills in a model. You cannot define, oh, really that skills get him a job. But why about my skill? I have more skills than him to get in his job. If you go to like sometimes connection works, if you go to a position in Fed, you'll see less qualified people are there and more qualified people are unemployed. So sometimes it is very hard to distinguish skills. So it is very essential for us to characterize variables, what is exogenous variable and what is endogenous variable. So even in your life, endogeneity, exogeneity matters. Because once you know things that you can control, then you are 80% done in your model. 80% done. The rest of the 20% is might be the error, which is exogenous. So defining variable that can be controlled is endogeneity is very, very important. Right? So let's say as more exogenous variables are added into the model, making them endogenous, the more realistic the model becomes. Okay. When building a model, you must decide what variable to include, what variable to exclude. We do not want to leave any important assumptions out of the model, but we also do not want to include any faulty ones. Okay. As I have said, variable, the more variable you include in your data sets, your data sets gets much more statistically significant. Okay. What is a possible problem with using faulty assumptions when building an economic model? It could lead to a poor economic decision. Let's say you created a model and you wanted to get to a hypothesis graduate student really will get a job, and you derive they don't get a job. So that's possibly a wrong signal. So poor decision making happens when you don't take a lot of variables. Okay, this is a very important concept. Let's talk about this. Production possibility frontier. Okay, this is on your book, page number 37, 38, and 39. Okay. In short, we call it PPF. Okay. So this is a combination of outputs society can produce given limited resources. Okay. So let's assume we have two good words. Okay, we have two goods world where we only have pizza and let's say wings. Okay, these are number of wings, these are number of pizza. So only two goods. Let's say whatever resources in the society have, if they try, they can produce 100 pizza. Okay, and let's say that whatever resources I have, I can produce 300 wings. production possibility frontier is always kind of a little bit bent curve. Okay, a little bit bent. So if someone wants to produce 100 pizza, he basically produce no wings, zero wings, right? Do you understand? If someone produce, these are completely assumptions. If someone produce 100 pizza, he produce no wings. Let's say if someone produce 5 wings, okay, then let's say this is a little shorter. Then he might produce 90 pizzas, declining. Let's say this is 50. If he makes 50 pizzas, he can produce 200 wings. Okay. And let's say 290. If you want to produce 10 pizzas, you produce 290 wings. So these are called trade-offs. Once you have decided to produce only 50 pizzas, you trading off with 200 wings, right? And if you don't want wings, you say, okay, I want only 5 wings, you can get 90 pizzas. These are trade-offs. The most important argument here is again the concept of maximization, right? Maximization. So concept of maximization says, given this output PPF curve, if someone produces here, let's say this point, okay? He produces here, maybe let's say 40 pizzas, let's say 50 wings. But he could have produced more. This area, he is not maximizing. He is losing from the economy, from the resource. This is the point what we don't want. Also, let's say there is a point here, which is being in 90, let's say 90 pizzas, can he produce 500 wings? This is not possible because we don't have the resources ourselves to produce 500 pizza. This is a simple assumption of two good world. We can apply this to our everyday product market. So what we are saying is to maximize our productivity in the economy, we have to be in this PPF line, in this line. Anywhere below, anywhere up is not maximization. Okay, so we have to be in this line. Anywhere in this line, we are maximizing our output. And here, a lot of assumptions are there. Technology is fixed, quantity of resources is fixed, society is fixed. Let's say your technology has improved in the society. Now you have a pizza machine, you can get more pizzas. So your PPF card will increase. So your PPF card will be like 200 pizzas. So now here is the maximization card. Okay, so your maximization is improving. So to understand this PPF card, you have to understand first that this is a downward sloping, must give up one good to increase the production. You must give up pizza, $10 pizza, 10 pizzas to get more wings. Do you understand? Any question on this? This is also important understanding of economics, where the PPF works. Any question on this? Feel free to ask me questions. Anybody? Do you understand?
Mhm.
Okay, can you explain?
So, this basically is talking about
Yeah.
where to focus your efforts. So if you only have two goods that you're able to produce, you have a slope, and the more you lean towards one thing, the more you're able to produce with that one thing. And sometimes it can be more profitable to focus on producing two things, but you may end up having less production in general.
Okay, good. That's very good answer. Well defined. Anyone else would like to try? Yes.
That when you basically the same thing, but with the purchase of pizza machine, the production of the pizza increased and the wings remained the same.
Okay. Can you explain what's your name? I forgot. Yeah.
Jackson,
Jackson, please, can you explain me what have you understood?
in order for the maximum production, if you want maximum production of pizza, you have to decrease the production of wings and vice versa.
Very good. Very good. Maximization is very important word. I like when you use it. Many of the new version of the book maybe won't use maximization, but I would love you to use because we are very much into the word of maximization. And if you understand this concept, you can understand so many concepts related to it. Number one is trade-off. You're trading off different commodities. Number two, discard maximization. And number three, what he said, slope, right? Do you know what is slope? I just want to see anybody who doesn't understand slope. Just one hand. So everybody understands slope? Okay, I'm just explaining again because this might be a little background knowledge for you to understand slope. Okay? So let's say you are climbing a hill, you are hiking, okay? Let's say you are hiking. Let's say you are hiking, okay? Up. This is a upwards hill. The moment you are going from here to here, this one is the slope. The difference between point here to point there is the slope. Okay? The application of slope in the real world applies to the concept of, let's say this is y, this is x, okay? So let's say it's a downward sloping and the difference from this point, you have to measure difference of this point and you get a number for this point. You get a number of the differences. Why I'm saying this? This is a very good understanding in future if you study more calculus or more into machine learning, you will understand how does it work. Let's say you searched in the Google word called car, C-A-R, car. What Google will do, they have a domain of words. They will try to understand which words is closer in slope of car. They will pick up those words and they will give you all the relative less closer slope words to your feed. Okay? The unrelated words of car will not appear in your search results. Okay? So slope is a big concept. The more you understand, the more you delve into this. So here the slope works this as well, right? These are the slopes. We'll talk about slope in our next classes more as we go, okay? Okay, let's see if the production possibility frontier is if you can produce pizzas 100 and then 300, this is your maximizing. If you produce 70, your wings goes to 90. If you produce 50, your wings goes to 150. That's what I have explained, right? E is not attainable. This is G, not attainable at all. And with regard to PPV, an efficient point is a point that is possible to reach inside the PPT, outside the PPT, on the PPF line, which is on the PPF line. Okay. Law of increasing opportunity cost. How many minutes we are left with? We are left with 15 minutes. Okay. Right. Okay. In economics, we have a lot of laws. Laws, and laws. And number one concept of laws is laws of diminishing return. Now we are studying the laws of increasing opportunity cost. Okay. Okay. We understood that opportunity cost is something, can be money, can be time, can be anything, what we forgot, right? And essentially, the more you want, because we always want more, everybody wants more. Nobody wants less. Do you want less? You want more. This is in nature of humanity, right? There is a saying that one day people will start thinking about less once they are in the grave, right? They will start thinking about more. So we essentially, human beings are greedy. We are so greedy. We want more. Every point of life. If you want more, you are increasing your opportunity cost, right? You are going to maximizing your point. You are also increasing your sunk cost. Your opportunity cost is increasing somewhere, right? So essentially, this is a law. That's why they say we want more, and our increasing opportunity cost is increasing. It's not decreasing. Our opportunity cost cannot be decreasing. Okay. That's essentially the idea is. So the opportunity cost of produce a good rises as a society produce more. We don't produce less because our human being is not, everybody is increasing. Okay. So that's what I say. If you do more, because essentially if you are in this point, you will be greedy enough to go to this point. You'll say, hey, come on, give me more pizza slice. I want more pizza slice. I don't want less. I always want more. You will essentially reach here one day. Maybe short time you're here, long time you will be there. So essentially the more you are going here, the more you are foregoing this or either foregoing this. The opportunity cost is increasing. Okay? You see? So the more opportunity cost is increasing. All right. Do you need to write in your slide? Okay, let's go next. Okay. What is economic growth? You have seen enough today. Anybody guess? Yes, please. What is economic growth? Anybody would like to try? Economic growth. Economic growth. How do we define economic growth? Have you ever heard of the concept called GDP? Anybody? GDP growth? Yeah. Yes.
Recent input factors that allows for more and more efficient output factors.
Yes, you're right. Input factors. Very good economic terms you're using. Have you taken this class before? No. Okay. Yes. So we study gross domestic product. In short, we call GDP. Everybody knows by now what is GDP. You must have heard in the news. And we also calculate GDP growth. In any business, in any, what does it call, new businesses? Startups, right? We think about growth. Growth is very, very important in discussion. If you don't have growth, your startups will die, people will be in big loss, right? Growth means your productivity today compared to your productivity yesterday. Okay? So in economic growth means that if you consider this as a whole economy, if you are in this point, you always will try to improve more and more, and your growth will happen. Until those who are not in growth, we are saying that they are inefficient in PPF, very inefficient. So we need to attain growth. Same concept. This is what I have said, that if you have technological growth, after invention of artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, Claude, or many other Gemini, do you know what's the growth rate? Increased. Many of the top business companies like Amazon, Uber, they fired 3,000 to 4,000 of their employees because they see that they are having significant growth without having to hire that employees. And stock market is booming 20% more than the average rate. Artificial intelligence has created a massive economic growth, and it will do so continuously. It will do so in such point that what I believe that human being maybe would not need to work. Human being can get food like everyone is coming. So the technology that we are creating, it is increasing our livelihood, increasing our longevity, right? It's increasing our longevity. People used to die at the age of 30 in 1900. People used to die in a disease without antibiotics. We created antibiotics. Now we have antibiotics. There is any fever, we get out of that fever. So our longevity is increasing, economic growth is happening, right? So the more we want, actually, it pushes us to the economic growth. This is the concept, nothing else. Nothing else. Okay? Same goes. If the both of the curve shifts now, if the technology happens to the both product, this will parallelly increase upward sloping. There will be parallel shift to the right. Okay? So true or false? Point A represents the number of cars and bicycles that will be sold. False, false. Okay? True or false? Movement along the curve from point A to point C shows us opportunity cost of producing more bicycle. More cars, actually. Okay? More bicycle. True. Okay? So more cars and bicycle movement from C to A and A to C. A to C is bicycle, C to A is cars. Okay? True or false? If we have high unemployment, then the curve shifts in. Curve shifts upward because more production, less unemployment. Okay? False.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you said with higher unemployment,
Mm-hmm.
they will produce more
Yeah.
in the curve shifts in.
So basically, in this point, they are assuming that people don't want to work. They can work here. Okay? If the population increases to here and you have only this much of jobs, this is the unemployment gap. These are the jobs. Okay? So unemployment is a concept that we will study more, but here is just a simple understanding of unemployment. So if your employment is stay here, you actually have more jobs which you are not trying to get achieved. The more you want, you will achieve more to the PPI.
Thank-
You can try this later on. Maybe I just would like to go to the last slide because we don't have much time. We have 10 minutes. Yes, I want to go here. Advantage, comparative advantage. Another concept. So we have two concepts which is called absolute advantage. We have, is it relative? Comparative, okay. Okay. Absolute advantage. Okay. Which country has absolute advantage in oil?
Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Hold on, no, Venezuela.
Venezuela. Absolute advantage.
Iran.
Iran. Maybe. I'm not sure. It's a political question. Because we got Venezuela already. We have other absolute, no. Maybe relative. Iran, maybe comparative. Okay? Not absolute. Which country, I mean, name one product Louisiana is best for. Huh? Seafoods. Yeah. Coffee.
I was gonna say Zaps.
What?
Zaps. It's a chip.
Oh, okay. So anybody else? One absolute product?
Sugar cane?
Sugar cane. Is it? Okay, I'm not sure. But let's say you are from Texas. I was in Lubbock, Texas. They made cotton. So, okay. So their absolute advantage is cotton. Okay. And if you go to relative advantage, they are maybe relatively better producing soybeans compared to the other uh, uh, Texas cities. Okay. So you are good, but lower is good. So any other example, we say what oil, right? Absolute advantage is ASA. In terms of oil, maybe Iran is a relative example. Give me other products, which is absolute in some country, but relative in other country. How about cars? Okay. Which country is making the best sports car in the world? Italy? You sure? Italy? Okay. So they have the sports car, let's say sports car. Italy and maybe Germany is the relative example in this. Okay. All right. Not good in those car stuff. So differences in producers' ability to produce goods allow them to specialize in what they have comparative advantage in and trading for what they want. So there is a simple math here. Who has an absolute advantage on pizza and wings? So we have a daily production of pizza in Courtney, who makes 60 pizzas, and daily production of wings. Courtney makes 120 wings, and Travis makes 20 pizzas but 72 wings. So absolute advantage is Courtney. So if you look at the graph, the graph is Courtney and the graph of Travis. She has 40, 40, 18, and 18 at the midpoint. Okay, so look here. She makes 60 of pizzas, 120 wings. So this is the equilibrium point. This is the equilibrium point of her. If you give her to make both, she will make both 40 and 40. Okay. If you give Travis to make both, Travis will make 18 pizzas and 18 wings. All right. So gains from the trade. If both of them trade, then if you see that 40 pizza and 40 pizza, wings is 40 and 40, and Travis is 18 and 18. The specialization is Courtney, who makes the pizza 60 more. That means she keeps 41, and Travis keeps 47 to making wings. So gains from the trade is +7 if Travis trades with Courtney, right? And Travis, if he trades wings, he will gain 7 wings more. So with the specialization in trade, each person can consume more than what otherwise could have. So basically, this is a concept in math. But I want you to understand more clearly the concept of the specialization in trade. The number one thing happens is when there is a specialization in an economy, there are so many markets are surrounded by it. Let's say Italy make best sports car. They have in one area all of the best sports car engine, all of the best sports car tires, all of the best sports cars body together. They can make it cheaper with close proximity. They make it very cheap, and they can assemble the product and sell it faster. So that's what makes them special. Country right now who is having this specialization in the productivity is China. China is making world's almost more than 50% of the production. Why they're specialized? Because some of they have industrialization zone. They have industrialization zone of plastic, industrialization zone of car, industrialization of this. They have different cities. If you go to shop here in China, they are specialized. They make a lot of production, huge. So they are gaining from this trade. They are gaining, right? Because they are making huge amount of productions. Because they are specialized, and we want to be specialized too. We need to gain. How do we gain? We specialize in something else. America specializes in technologies. We create something which they do something. So we have to do the trade, right? That's why there is a big trade war right now. You see tariff wars, right? All these are connected with the specialization game, and these will go on and on. But if you understand the concept of specialization, who gains from it and who loses from it, you can relate. Okay. So these are just slides. We make the Courtney 1-2 ratios, and we see that Courtney is higher in terms of ratios, which is 0.50. Courtney makes more pizzas. Okay. So trade-off between present and future. Short run, the period in which we make decisions that reflect our immediate or short-term wants It's, consumer can only partially adjust our behavior. So short-term and long-term understanding economics is important because short-term, we may have lot of barriers of income. Like right now, we are not buying a big house because we are thinking to buy a big house after 5 years, right? So we always have short-term plans and long-term plans. We adjust throughout these two time periods. So trade-offs also similar like this, the period in which we make decisions that reflect our needs, wants, limitations over long horizon of time. Okay. Okay, types of good. We have consumer goods, we have capital goods. Consumer good is food, and capital good is factories, investment, etc. Okay. And let's see. So this is also important concept when we in long run, if you increase your capital, if you have more land. So in resources, we have land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, right? Entrepreneurship. Okay, these four. So if these four, one of them increases, this also pushes in long term. If the PPF also moves upward, and we gain from the future growth. Okay, that's what I was just showing. So what if the opportunity cost of producing capital goods instead of consumers? We give up consumption today, we make the future. And also human capital, we would like to invest in human capital, we would like to invest in education so that our capital goods increases. So the conclusion is, in economics, we use all of these in a model so that we can maximize our output. In simple, we hypothesize and we'd like to maximize our output given all of the resources we have, okay? And every resources we'd like to utilize the full capacity of our PPI card. All right? Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. And I'll give you homework in Canvas and please try to submit it by the next class. All right? Thank you.